guys, welcome back to another reaction. Today, we're going to be checking out Wendigoon. He has a video out called The Cryptid Iceberg Begins. Never seen this before. I don't usually watch Iceberg videos on my own time or anything. But I've seen Wendigoon's stuff before. He's made videos on Petscop, the Walton Files, and the Mandela Catalog. And I think he's made a couple others. I think he's also made some on Backrooms too. Some stuff that we've actually watched on the Investigation series. So I'm kind of interested in seeing what he's got going on here. And without further ado, I guess we'll just jump right on into it, shall we?
Hello everybody! Today I'm excited to announce that Christmas came early. Those of you that have been around for a while will know that I promised to do a Cryptid Iceberg over a year ago. And as more projects and things came to mind, I just never got around to it. Well, today I am making good on my word as we're going to cover the complete Cryptid Iceberg. This iceberg was assembled by someone who works at the International Cryptozoology Museum in Portland, Maine. Way back whenever I first tried to cover this iceberg, I wanted to do the entire thing in one video, which with my schedule just wasn't feasible. Because sure, while some of the things near the top, like the Wendigo or the Goatman, are things that I'm pretty familiar with and can research easily, the bottom tiers of this iceberg are things that before research, I'd never even heard of. So rather than waiting for the entire Leviathan of this video to get put out at the same time, instead, I'm going to be releasing it in parts, hopefully over the course of December, and then after all of the parts are complete, compile it into one supercut, same as I did with the conspiracy theory iceberg. Now, it's also a well-known fact that I am bad at following up on deadlines I set for myself, so we'll see if I can finish the whole thing by Christmas. But either way, might as well get started now. And also, just a side note, the guy who made this iceberg and myself were communicating via DMs, but I have since lost those DMs, so if you're the guy that made this iceberg, you know who you are. I shot you a DM on Twitter. Please respond. It'd be really cool to give you credit and point people towards more content that you're making. But until then, I'm not gonna, dox the guy without his permission. That'd be kind of rude. Also, it's just been a while since I've covered an iceberg. The last one I did was the disturbing video game iceberg earlier this year, but I haven't...
I got a question. Did he get his teeth done or something? Like before this video? Because he is strangely like keeping his mouth kind of open. The reason why I'm asking this is because my dad's now wife, yeah, they just recently got married. I didn't announce that news. Forgive me about that, but I guess I should call her my stepmom. My stepmom, a couple years, actually it's been quite a few years back now, she actually got her teeth done at the dentist because she suffered from a condition, I think it was hereditary, where your teeth are like super brittle and they easily like wither away and fall out no matter how well you take care of them. So she had to go in and get all of her teeth redone. Hold on, I'll be right back. My food is done.
5 minutes later.
Alright. Oh, jeez. Just knocking everything off. Anyways, like I was saying, before I got rudely interrupted by food, yeah, I think, I'm not 100% sure, if I could ever get my dad and her on stream sometime. I would like for her to tell the story, really. But, I think it was a hereditary issue or something that she couldn't exactly help. And before she met my dad, she actually used to smoke cigarettes. And she did that for like years. But when she got with my dad, she decided to quit cold turkey because he didn't like it. So, yeah. the smoking of cigarettes really didn't help much. So it was sometime after she quit smoking. Oh, no. It was actually right before she quit smoking, actually, is when she got her teeth fixed. I remember now. Because when she was getting her teeth fixed, she said she was going to quit smoking cold turkey. Because she didn't want to ruin the new teeth or anything. So, yeah, they went in and done the whole transplants and everything for all of her teeth. And the reason why I bring it up is because he's doing that same thing that she used to do, where anytime she would talk, right afterwards, she'd be showing off her teeth a lot. And it's not like she could help it, is because, you know, the way her teeth were feeling inside her mouth is just like, I can't help it, you know. Like, it looked like she was like almost smiling because her teeth were like constantly poking out from her lips. And you couldn't help but see that. And looking at Wendigoon here, I'm thinking, oh, did he get his teeth done or something? Or what have you? Like, it doesn't have to be implants or anything, but it does seem like he had some work done because he's like very showy of his teeth.
Covered a series since the conspiracy theory Iceberg, because if I remember correctly, the serial killer Iceberg wrapped up even before that. So I figured, why not, for the holiday season, we go through this journey together, beginning in the realm of the fairly known and eventually getting to the mysterious and the terrifying. This iceberg is, for the most part, arranged by obscurity, so I can assure you that pretty much everyone will be familiar with some of the terms near the top, and regardless of how much of a cryptozoologist you are, I promise you will learn something new if you stick around for the series. Also, I forgot to mention...
Like, I know of like Bigfoot, Mothman, the Goat Man, I think Nessie's one of them. The Loch Ness Monster. And I don't know if the Rake is one of them. I think the Rake is more of a creepypasta than it is a cryptid, but yeah.
This in the initial recording, but there's one more thing that I want to make clear. An iceberg is a very quick look at a lot of content. Nearly every one of the creatures that we're going to be talking about have their own books written about them, have their own movies and documentaries made about them, and can amount to years and years of research, and I'll be covering most of them in half a minute. Like any iceberg video, I'm covering an ocean's worth of content that's only a few inches deep. This series is by no means a comprehensive look at all of these creatures, and I don't intend for it to be. Instead, it's more of a Wikipedia or starting point for a lot of this lore. So if any of these creatures sound cool to you, I highly encourage you to do some research yourself, because really, it's a lot of fun. Also, for someone whose YouTube channel is named after a cryptid, there is a suspicious lack of cryptid content on the channel. So I figured, why not make the most of it while we're here? So instead of just covering the cryptid iceberg,
the Wendigo, that's what his name is after,
I will also be making a cryptid tier list. I don't think I need to explain to the average YouTube viewer what a tier list is. It's your standard A through F ranking system, with S being supreme overall. Just think of S tier as a sort of A+. While the actual iceberg analysis will be based on legends and research, the tier list is just entirely my own stupid opinion on how cool I think each cryptid is. There's also a category at the very bottom, NA, which is just for terms in the iceberg that are non-applicable to what we're talking about. Because some of the stuff in this iceberg isn't even a cryptid. Some of the terms are books or individuals who are very important to the field of cryptozoology, but it'd be weird to be ranking like Mothman and Bigfoot and then be like, oh, well, this book is an A-tier cryptid, whatever that means. So non-cryptids go in NA, everything else is fair game. And for those who are uninitiated as to what a cryptid is, and if you are, I am so sorry for what you're about to experience, but the short definition is that a cryptid is a creature whose existence is widely debated. This applies to things you're probably thinking of, like Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster, but also applies to things that were at one point believed to be extinct, like certain species of fish or primates, which we'll talk about through the series. Basically, any animal or creature that you can think of that exists within the realm of theory is likely a cryptid. And I, for one, am so excited to talk about them today, and hopefully
I didn't know about
you are
that
too.
second part.
It's been a while since I've covered an iceberg, especially one this long. And I know that some of you only enjoy videos that are related to real life events, some of you only enjoy content that is related to the realm of fiction, and the world of cryptids kind of combines the two in a perfect way. At least I think so. So hopefully there will be something in this series for everyone, and above all else, hopefully you enjoy. A couple things I want to get out.
Like I said, I only know a little bit about cryptids, but I didn't know it could be like things that are thought to be extinct that could still be around to this day. I didn't think of that one.
Out of the way before we get started. For one, the Red Thread, the podcast that I began with Critical and Jackson Clark, has been doing phenomenal. We only have one episode out, and it's doing great on Spotify. You can listen to it on Spotify, by the way. And on YouTube, it has nearly 500,000 views, which for a first episode blows my mind. You guys have been incredibly generous, and it really does mean the world. So a link to that will be in the description if anyone wants to check it out, and to those of you who already have, thank you. The first episode we did over there was actually about the Goat Man, and it's almost like I planned this whole thing out. I didn't, but it's almost like I did. And we are trying to get the first episode of the other podcast that I began with Meat Canyon, Creepcast.
Oh!
First episode of that should be out end
Didn't
of
know you
this
started
week.
a podcast
Both of those will be linked in
Meat
the description.
Canyon,
And again,
of all people.
thank you all so much for the support that you've already shown. It means the world. Also for the holiday season, I have a very special treat on the way. And that treat is this guy. Not that guy. This guy. This one right here. I'm not going to show him off on camera yet, but those of you who follow me on Twitter already know who he is. I'm not going to... Is this guy.
Night Vision Wendigoon?
Not that guy. This guy. This one right here. I'm not going to show him off on camera yet, but those of you who follow me on Twitter already know who he is, and he will be available on December 1st. So stay tuned for that.
Well,
Okay,
we've already missed
was
that.
well mean, I'm sorry. Also, before we get into a massive series of things that I enjoy, but probably shouldn't because it definitely affects my mental health for the worst in the long run, let's talk about something.
Hold on. I hate when sometimes my headset battery dies and it just does not warn me that it's going to die.
That I enjoy that affects my mental and physical health for the better in the long run. Yeah. But before we dive into this rabbit hole of weird, I want to talk about something that's weirdly good for you, and that is today's sponsor, who we've all come to know and love, AG1. That's because AG1 is your one and only comprehensive foundational nutrition supplement. Now, those who've been around the channel for a while know how much I love this stuff and how much it helps me get the nutritions that I need every day. Because let's face it, you're not probably eating the perfect diet you should be eating every day. At least I'm certainly not. But AG1 is here to help. It contains your daily dose of pre and probiotics, immune support supplements, nutritional supplements, multivitamins, multiminerals, and instead of being a bunch of pills and doses you have to take every morning, is instead just one drink. AG1 supports whole body health by being something that doesn't focus on one area or aspect of your body, and is instead something that supports your body, brain, and gut all at once. AG1 is the simple, high-quality solution to your daily nutrition, and there's a reason that the brand has been leading the pack since 2010. And as you all know, I didn't realize how bad I was with my diet until I started taking AG1. It's not like AG1 is some kind of stimulant, it's just the stuff that your body is craving that you probably don't even realize. When I started taking it, I had more energy to get things done. I had more energy to carry out tasks throughout the day. Not only is it super easy to keep track of because it's just one drink you have to take every day, but it's also super easy to make because all you need is a spoonful of AG1 and then 8 to 12 ounces of water and you're good to go. And also, those of you who are new to AG1 might be looking at this and think that it tastes absolutely disgusting because that's like a grassy green look. It actually tastes just fine. Everything in here is completely natural, so what flavor it does have is kind of like a sweet vanilla taste almost. But AG1 isn't a pain to take every morning and is instead something I enjoy alongside my morning coffee. AG1 is the perfect product to help you take care of your body the way that it deserves. And right now, there's never been a better time to get in on the offer. That's because right now, if you go to the link in the description at drinkag1.com/Wendigoon, in addition to your order, you will get 5 additional travel packs of AG1. That's 5 extra days worth of AG1 that you can take with you on the go.
Hold on. I gotta check out this AG1 real quick. Alright. AG1? Oof. Huh. $79, and you get D3 plus K2 AG vitamin. Okay. Free welcome kit, canister, scoop, shaker, AG1 original sampler, 3 count, AG1 green strap duffel bag. Duffel gym bag. Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. Multivitamin and mineral, pre and probiotic green superfood, stress adaptogen, immune support, cognitive support. Total per month, $79. Okay. Well, if I decide to try it, I'll let you guys know.
Which is great if you're obsessed with this stuff like I am. And a year's supply of vitamin D3 and K2. Put a drop
Probably
of
a
it in your drink
scam.
every morning
Probably.
to get even more of the nutrition that you need.
But you know what? Oh, I don't know why I'm sitting here with the angry. At that price, it feels like
Been around the channel for a while now. Multivitamins, just one drink or aspect.
Well, I'll tell you what. If I decide to do it, I'll try it, and I'll tell you guys how it is, and see if it does have any actual benefits. Because the funny thing about me is, I've taken vitamins before, and I never felt anything from them, honestly. Like, my dad would tell me, hey, take this vitamin B12 vitamin, it might help you get more energy. I'd start taking it, and even after a few days, I still feel exactly the same. And I'm like, I don't feel anything from this. And then my dad will try to get me on a different one, and I'm like, I don't feel anything from it, I'm sorry. I don't know why or how. I've been trying to take vitamins ever since I was like a teenager, and I just can't. I can't seem to get any. It feels like I can't get anything out of them, honestly. No matter how many times I try to take it, so it just make me stop wanting to take
body, and is instead something that supports your body, brain, and gut all at once. AG1 is the simple, high-quality solution.
But
to
I
your
can
daily
see why
nutrition.
you'd feel like very like on the edge for it, because it's like it's $79. It seems a little bit too cheap for what it is. And sometimes you're right to feel that way, that it would be a scam, and then sometimes you're like, let me try it, see if it is actually a scam.
There's a reason that the brand has been leading the pack since 2010.
Because curiosity
And
gets
as you
the
all
better
know,
of you.
I didn't realize how
Especially
bad
for
I
me.
was with my diet until I started taking AG1. It's not like AG1's some kind of stimulant, it's just the stuff that your body is craving that you probably don't even realize. Not only super easy, you're good, absolutely disgusting, because that's like fine. Everything in here, almost, my mornings. And right now, there's never been a better time to get in on the offer. That's because right now, if you go to the link in the description at drinkag1.com/Wendigoon, in addition to your order, you will get 5 additional travel packs of AG1. That's 5 extra days worth of AG1 you can take with you on the go, which is great if you're obsessed with this stuff like I am, and a year's supply of vitamin D3 and K2. Just put a drop of it in your drink every morning to get even more of the nutrition that you need. Taking care of your body shouldn't be complicated, and now with AG1, it doesn't have to be. Again, to get in on this offer, go to the link in the description at drinkag1.com/Wendigoon to get in on AG1 today. Thank you all so much for watching the ad. Thank you so much to AG1 for sponsoring this video.
Yes, drink the green.
Sweatshirt. It means the most. Hope you all check them out. Link is in the description, and we are back to the video. We are going to go ahead and get in.
You know, I am so glad that I had this, or that I made this little guy. I don't know why I'm trying to say had it made. I was the one that made it.
It's probably chunky.
It's probably chunky. Probably. I don't know. I've never tried it.
Into it, but as always, thank you for watching. I want to get the first 2 episodes of this series out quick so that I set a precedent for myself and don't slack off on uploads. So this video and the next will
Ever
be
seen that
one
chunky
tier
milk
of the
video?
No. I don't think I have. Oh gosh.
Good.
Good. Is it bad? Is it real bad? Oh gosh. Oh, little turd. I'll see you right there. Good. Now I have Twitch ads. 1 sec. Oh no.
Iceberg each. And then hopefully after that, I'll be covering 2 tiers of the iceberg per video, which theoretically will round out to 5 episodes over the course of December for the whole series, but I am most likely going to eat my words on that. So I'm leaving this part in the video so that you all can laugh at me when I inevitably fail. But in the meantime, why not have some fun? So let's get into it, starting with tier 1. Beginning with Bigfoot, also known as Sasquatch. The name Sasquatch is derived from the Salish word Sasquatch, meaning wild man. While Sasquatch is the name of the creature within regions like the Pacific Northwest, other renditions of it exist in nearly every corner of the world. While Bigfoot is believed to be connected to several otherwise unrelated legends given his appearance, like for example, stories of tall, hairy men can be seen in everything from the rock apes to the Wendigo and what have you. He is most famous among regions of the Northwest United States. While menacing, his widespread popularity has caused several stories of him to move from that of a barbaric killer to an agent of nature, disturbing those who disrespect the mountains. Shortly after the famed 1967 Patterson-Gimlin film, Skamania County, Washington implemented a statute stating that the poaching of Bigfoot would result in a 5-year prison sentence. Things like this caused Bigfoot to be catapulted into the public eye. And despite his fierce appearance, many now see Bigfoot as a sort of icon for nature itself. Bigfoot, we all know and love him. He's kind of the foundation for any cryptid story, at least in the United States. So of course, I gotta put the guy at A tier. The reason I don't put him at S tier is because he is so popular at this point that there's not really a, like hardline canon for what the creature does or what its motives are.
That is
like to some people, it's this monster that kills anyone that goes in the woods. To others, it's this peaceful guardian of nature. And because of that, stories of Bigfoot are all over the place. Sometimes they can be really cool, sometimes they can be really lame. But Bigfoot laid the groundwork for most of mystery culture as it exists today.
Twitch is calling me fat.
Why are they calling you fat? Oh, what kind of ads are you getting, boobs?
He's a solid A tier. Up next, we have the Loch Ness Monster. Nessie, as she's also known, is believed to inhabit Lake Loch Ness of the Scottish Highlands. While written legends of a sea beast within Loch Ness date back to the first millennia, and sightings date back even
I weigh
further,
like
the
98
description
pounds.
and reputation of the
You're a skinny boy. Or girl. I don't know what you are, Bloops. I'm sorry. You're a skinny person. You're just a twig.
plesiosaur like Nessie exploded into the public consciousness in 1933 when several locals reported seeing the creature both in and out of water. This series
Oh, really? Iron Log is #1 movie in America. Oh,
of
wow.
local stories culminated in 1934 when the famed surgeon's photograph was taken. Despite most legends describing the creature as docile, besides the occasional mention of consuming prey animals, hunting the Loch Ness Monster has become a sort of snipe hunt among the locals. In 1938, men arrived at Loch Ness with makeshift harpoon guns in hope of killing the creature. Sightings and expeditions to find Nessie have continued into the modern age. The 750-foot deep lake is proud of its mascot, a legend that's fueled tourism within Scotland for the past century. With connections to legends such as the Kelpie and over 1,000 sightings to date, Nessie is a legend that is certainly here to stay.
Oh,
I'm sure we're all familiar with the Loch Ness.
Okay. Oh, wow. Currently on a 3-stream streak. Nice.
Ness Monster and theories that maybe it's a dinosaur that
Awesome.
didn't die out in the extinction. Maybe it's some kind of giant undocumented amphibian. But regardless, similar to Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster is one of the most popular cryptids of all time.
I'm glad
and in my
you like
opinion,
coming back to the stream.
kind of overrated.
Thank you.
There were a series of sightings in the 1930s. People described it as, again, a long neck thing. There was the famous surgeon's photograph, which, again, got very popular, but years later was revealed to be a definitive hoax. And there's just not really that many, like, cool stories or, like, cool things people do with them. People just show up to the lake and they're like, oh, I saw, you know, the dinosaur thing, and everyone's like, that's cool. And that's it. It doesn't
Cool
go
story,
anywhere
bro.
after that. I think Nessie's kind of cute, but that doesn't really qualify for any of the top tier, so middle of the line. Next up, we have Mothman. The Mothman of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, is a monster as beloved
the #1
as it is
movie
menacing.
in the U.S. My coworker doesn't even know what it is. Oh my gosh! Tell your coworker to go watch it now.
The legend began in November of 1966 when two young couples spotted a large, black creature with glowing red eyes and wings just outside of a decommissioned military munitions plant known as the TNT area. The creature chased the teens back to city limits. Sightings continued across the region until, in December of 1967, when the Silver Bridge, a massive roadway connecting West Virginia to Ohio, collapsed, resulting in the deaths of 46 people. Legends began to arise that Mothman himself was spotted at the bridge just before it collapsed. As such, the mythos surrounding Mothman shifted from that of a monstrous killer to that of a benevolent harbinger. Likewise, Mothman's public image is mostly that of a wise herald of the natural world.
Really confused.
All right, so for one,
Yeah,
to
there
get
you
it out of
go.
the way, Mothman is S tier, because if we're doing all of this and we're not putting Mothman at S tier, then what are we doing here? Both among people who are just kind of interested in cryptids or the supernatural, and those who are super interested, both hold Mothman as one of the best. He is defined as a creature that is menacing and potentially harmful, but also maybe here to help us, maybe trying to warn us of danger. And he's a giant bat moth person. Like, that's just really cool. I've been to Point Pleasant, West Virginia. I've done all of the Mothman tours, been to the museum, poked around the TNT area. There's even a statue of him in the middle of the town. And yes, of course, my wife did in fact touch his butt.
Touch.
Also, one more thing I want to mention. The poster that you can see off to the side whenever I'm recording at the White...
Okay, does he fly into fire and like a dummy? Monster effer on Maine.
whiteboards or on my live streams, the poster that has
the boys
Bigfoot, Mothman, Braxy, and an alien on it, This poster
The boys are
came
back in town.
from the Mothman Museum at Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
That's funny.
You know, just in case my crippling hyper interest wasn't apparent enough. Mothman is one of
Lamau.
the most beloved cryptids of all time for good reason. Next up, we have
The Kraken.
The Kraken,
I
or
know about
giant
the
squid,
Kraken.
is a legend that predates that of nearly any other cryptid.
That is a very piratey legend right there.
For as long as humanity has traveled the sea, rumors of sea beasts powerful enough to pull down entire ships have persisted. The most popular of these legends is that of the Kraken, a squid-like creature that was originally transcribed around the mid-18th century. In recent years, the Kraken mythos seems to be less fiction and, if anything, exaggeration. While stories of naval vessels being pulled to the depths cannot be confirmed, modern findings like that of the colossal squid give credence to what was otherwise tall tales of superstitious sailors. Given the rapid deterioration of ocean wildlife in the modern age and consistently new discoveries in marine biology, the Kraken is less a cryptid and more a chilling reminder of what was.
Whole 98 pounds of you are built different.
The Kraken's an interesting one. Sure, the first time it was written down was around the 1700s, but legends of sea beasts and monsters that destroy ships are as old as sailing has existed. And then, as science begins to find things like colossal squids that are still alive, who knows what was roaming the oceans 300 years ago? We know that increased transportation across waterways has caused all form of marine biology to go further underwater to hide from the commotion caused by ships. So what was roaming the top of the waters several hundred years ago? What might still be out there, only a bit deeper down? The Kraken's an interesting one. It's hard to argue that it's entirely fictional or entirely a cryptid, but it serves as a chilling reminder for several unidentified species of creature that we've been wrong before. Next up, we have
the Yeti,
also known as the Abominable Snowman. The Yeti is a Bigfoot synonymous creature hailing from the Himalayan mountain range.
To be honest, I thought Yeti and Bigfoot were like the same thing. I didn't know they were two different stories.
Folklore describes different variations of the creature, ranging in color from black to brown to white, and in height from 3 to 15 feet tall. From footprints and stories discovered by the British in 1921 along the foothills of Mount Everest, the term Abominable Snowman was born, and with it, legends of people being lost to the rage hidden within the fierce snowstorms of the mountains. While some Tibetan cultures view the Yeti as a sort of spiritual guardian, most see him as an agent of death and violence. Sightings of large footprints, tribal relics, and massive figures along the Himalayas keep the legend alive to this day. The Yeti has an intricacy that's probably surprising to a lot of people that...
And the funny thing is, one of my favorite rides at Disney World is Expedition Everest. If you ever go there, go on that ride. It is actually very fun. And they actually have the Yeti on that ride, which is really cool and very interesting.
Just see it as a Bigfoot transported over to Asia. The Tibetans have legends for different kinds of Yetis, those that are violent to people, those that are passive to people. But the majority of people who spend enough time at the foothills of Everest will report finding remains or footprints that are just a little bit out of character. Or you'll hear stories of explorers seeing someone on a far-off mountain range who appeared to be just a bit too tall. The Yeti is in a particularly mysterious part of the world, and with it, holds several mysteries as well. So I'm giving it B tier. Again, this is all just my own opinion, and the only thing that really holds it back for me is because, as an American, it really is just snow Bigfoot. The next term on the iceberg is the thylacine, which, also known as the Tasmanian tiger, was a species native to Tasmania, New Zealand, and Australia. At one point, there existed large populations of them across the continent, but the last known member of the species died in the 1930s. They were a pretty weird creature. They kind of looked like a sort of Wolverine dog thing, but they were marsupial, and they had like the marsupial pouch. They could also open their jaws like really wide, near 90 degrees. The reason that the thylacines on this iceberg is because it's an example of a weird and unique species that died out in the past century. So while it does give credence to some other cryptid legends, I have to put it at non-applicable because, I mean, it's just a species that is now dead. So sad. Next up we have the skunk ape. The skunk ape is, in effect, the Bigfoot of the Everglades. The key trait that separates the skunk ape from other Sasquatch-adjacent creatures is the presence of a strong, ghastly odor that emanates from the creature, hence giving it the name skunk ape. This scent often preceding the beast's sightings. While stories of man-sized monkeys permeated the region since pre-colonial arrival, the legends of the skunk ape have exploded in the past century. While sharing several similarities to Bigfoot, the ape is typically depicted as more docile and smelly. I've always found the skunk ape to be more scary than Bigfoot, and I think the main reason for that is, as a kid, I was exposed to the happy-go-lucky, friend of the hiker Bigfoot motif, and the exposure to the skunk ape I got was that one really freaky image of it behind the leaves at night, and I think someone found out later that that picture was actually a picture of a display at a Ripley's Believe It or Not, I'm pretty sure. But nevertheless, 8-year-old me didn't know that. And I did live for a month down in the Florida Everglades, and I think it's just because that's such a hostile region of land. Whereas I see things like the Pacific Northwest, sure, in the winter you can die if you're out there, but for the most part, it's like friendly hiking trails and whatnot.
Yeah.
And if you try to just go hiking through the middle of the Everglades, you will die to something. So while the skunk ape itself is typically depicted as non-violent, I think it's just the menacing characteristics of the area around him that make him so scary. That kind of by association, he's seen as a menacing creature, even if himself is not. This probably doesn't make any sense, but it makes sense up here. So while I do like the skunk ape and have even been to the skunk ape museum in the Everglades, I've got to put him at B tier because at the end of the day, smelly Bigfoot. Next up, we have Champy. The monster of Lake Champlain has been described by those native to the land as a great horned serpent. And yeah, go ahead, insert Monument Mythos reference here. Known to the Abenaki as the Gittaskog, sightings of a lake monster in Lake Champlain have been documented in newspapers for the past century. Some of which describing the creature as being nearly 200 feet in length and recount stories of steamboats halting when colliding with the beast. At one point, P.T. Barnum offered $50,000 for the hide of the creature, which adjusted for inflation is nearly $1.3 million. Despite differing accounts of Champy's appearance, most agree on the head of a snake and massive dimensions. Due to the lack of stories regarding attacks or danger, Champy is often regarded as a docile, kind creature and is even a protected species in both the states of Vermont and New York. Champy is effectively the Loch Ness Monster, but in the United States. A lot of the legends around Champy are explicitly nice or kind, whereas the Loch Ness Monsters tend to be more menacing or at the very least mysterious. Champy is kind of seen as almost like there's just a blue well in the middle of the lake, like this harmless creature that's just really big and wants to be your friend. And that's seen in a lot of the artwork and advertisement related to the legend. And while I think that's cute and all, I've got to give it a D tier. I'm sure there's a lot of people that really like it, but again, it's just take this legend and then move it somewhere else. After that, we have the Chupacabra. The Chupacabra, or goat sucker, is a creature from Latin America that is known for drinking the blood of livestock.
It's from Mexico.
Descriptions of the creature range from a hyena-like canine, as reported in most Mexican and Southwest United States stories, to that of a reptilian humanoid as seen in the original Puerto Rican sightings. Consistencies across legends often contain details of red eyes and black quills along the creature's back. Despite its popularity, the Chupacabra is a relatively new urban legend, with the first use of the name occurring in the 1990s following a series of livestock killings in Puerto Rico. Several animals were found drained of their blood, and local speculation shifted to that of a vampiric beast that preys on unsuspecting farmers. Despite its short time in the limelight, the Chupacabra has built a name for itself that rivals the likes of Bigfoot. Chupacabra is one of the most famous cryptids of all time. That being said, I've got to throw him at C tier. Because when the legend began, it was this alien reptilian humanoid that would feast on the blood of animals. And that was, you know, cool and unique. But then when the legend went from Puerto Rico to like Mexico and Texas, it just became stories of people going, oh, well, it was like a coyote without a lot of hair and it ate a chicken. And so it's like, what if it was just a coyote without a lot of hair? And then most of the stories and sightings around it got pretty generic. Most of the time, it could just be written off as a dog. But I do have to give it some points for popularity. Also, I forgot to mention this, but when I was in the 8th grade, we had a class presentation where we had to study some kind of historic event and talk about all of the stories and legends around it. So the normal people in my class covered things like, you know, the Titanic or World War II, and I did a report on the Chupacabra. So I guess I was always destined to wind up here. Next up, we have the jackalope. The jackrabbit antelope is in many regards the first Americana cryptid. The creature is simply a jackrabbit with antlers. Early settlers would tell tall tales of horned rabbits seen on the fields of Wyoming. The myth exploded in the 1930s when a man named Douglas Herrick, as a joke, taxidermized a set of deer antlers onto a jackrabbit mount. He sold jackalope mounts to several businesses in the American West, and the legend became a sort of in-joke among the locals. Outsiders were warned to beware the dangerous creature and to guard their legs. Stories of jackalopes singing with travelers by the campfire, or only being able to breed during lightning strikes, the explanation for their scarce appearance, were very common. The jackalope became a sort of snipe hunt, and among the first American legends. Also, in Wyoming, it's a running joke that you can get a jackalope hunting license composed of impossible stipulations. I love the jackalope because, for one, it has the most innocent beginnings. There were legends of a rabbit with deer antlers, so a guy thought it'd be funny to make a taxidermy of one and sell it to local businesses. And then every time someone who's unfamiliar with the area comes into town, it gives all the locals an excuse to spin a yarn. I mean, if you were a guy who had never been out west, and you know, this is pre-internet or widespread education, and you saw a jackrabbit mount with antlers and everyone in town told you it's real, I mean, who are you to not believe that? Now, when they get to all of the stories about it can only breed during lightning strikes or whatnot, that's different. But it became a fun story that a bunch of people would add their own legends to. And like I said, in Wyoming, it was a joke for a while that you could get a license to hunt a jackalope, but it would have a stipulation like, can only be on February the 30th, or can only take place in the minute before and after midnight. So while sure, there's not a lot to the legend of the creature itself, it's the legends and cultures that were built around it that make it so special, and what makes me put it at B tier. I also just noticed that I left my ceiling light on, which has been reflecting on the board this whole time. You think 3 million subs can't figure out how lights work. Next up, we have the Jersey Devil. The Jersey Devil, also known as the Leeds Devil, is a monster said to stalk the Pine Barrens of southern New Jersey. Descriptions vary, but in every variation, the devil is a combination of different animal features. It is often cited as a sort of dragon, with bat-like wings, goat-like hooves, and the head of a horse. While the natives' legends of a flying creature within the Pine Barrens predate colonial legend, the story of the Leeds Devil is far more popular. According to legend, in the 1730s, a woman named Mrs. Leeds discovered that she was pregnant with her 13th child. Understandably, Mother Leeds was upset and cursed the unborn child. When the child was born, it transformed into the Jersey Devil and flew out of the house, stalking those who stray from the trails of New Jersey ever since. The Jersey Devil's a fascinating one. Unlike a lot of cryptids, it has a definitive origin story, and while the characterization of other cryptids is often kind of ambiguous, the Jersey Devil is expressly evil. It's a creature born from hell that will kill or haunt anyone who gets in its way. It's also particularly terrifying, and one of the only cryptids that I can definitively say scared me to death as a child. It's scary, it's cool, and it looks weird. So I'm putting it at A tier. And the last cryptid for tier 1 is the Dogman. The Dogman, also known as the Michigan Dogman, rose to infamy in 1987
what the heck?
When a disc jockey named Steve Cook released a song called The Legend, detailing the story behind the creature. According to the legend, the Dogman was first seen in 1887 in Wexford County, Michigan. The creature has the body of a man with the head of a dog. While many associate this appearance with the commonly known werewolf, stories of the Dogman imply a less blended, more distinct appearance of a canine's head on a man's body. While stories of attacks are scarce, the haunting appearance is enough to drive many locals to a place
That's
of
crazy
fear.
looking.
The Dogman's an interesting one. Things like the werewolf have been so overplayed in pop culture that few people still find the idea of one scary, but there is something directly uncanny about just a man's form with a dog's head. And while that in itself is cool, the Dogman kind of has a shaky beginning, so to speak. Like, a lot of these cryptids and stuff come from local legend or stories or sightings or what have you. But the Dogman began with a disc jockey making a song about him, and then sightings of the creature began. And while I'm not going through this whole thing talking about why cryptids are fake or why this one is less likely to exist than the other one, because that's pretty lame. I mean, the Dogman was just a guy wrote a song about it and people started singing it, so kind of lessens the cool factor a little bit. So that coupled with the creature's design being pretty basic brings it down a bit for me. A lot of the stories that have come off of the legend are pretty cool, so I'm putting it at C tier. And now, let's do a quick run through of the other non-applicables from tier 1. Classic Animals of Discovery was the book that Lewis and Clark put together of all the animals they discovered on their voyage out west. This is fascinating because for the first time in written literature, there were hundreds of newly documented animals. It goes to show how quickly something can go from unknown to cataloged in the matter of a single trip. Sea serpent, similar to the Kraken, is a legend that has existed for hundreds and hundreds of years, but everything that I would have said about the sea serpent, I pretty much mentioned with the Kraken stuff, and since the two overlap so much, I'm leaving it down here since it in itself is kind of vague. Loren Coleman is the founder of the International Cryptozoology Museum that I mentioned earlier, and he's also foundational in a ton of cryptid legends. Like, some of the stuff we're going to be talking about later on was named by the guy, and he's done more for the cryptid community than probably anyone else alive. You'll be hearing more about him later on in the series. The Fiji mermaid is the original cryptid hoax. People took the torso of a monkey and stitched it to the tail of a fish and told people that they had found mermaids. Josh Gates, the host of the show Destination Truth, goes into cryptid sightings and exploring cryptid encounters. The coelacanth is a species of fish that was believed to be extinct for tens of millions of years until they were found alive in the 1930s off the southern coast of Africa. An example of how things we believe could have been extinct for times long before us can simply pop up and rewrite our understanding of biology. A common occurrence you're going to see throughout a lot of the possibly extinct species we're going to see through the rest of the series. Expedition Everest was the Disney World attraction that featured the Yeti and helped popularize the Yeti in American culture. And finally, the TV show Finding Bigfoot, a TV show where they set out to find Bigfoot and still haven't found him, although the show itself is very funny. There were a couple more terms on tier 1, like the Patterson-Gimlin film that I mentioned with Bigfoot, or the surgeon's photograph that I mentioned with the Loch Ness Monster, but I already talked about those, so they don't need to go up here. And with that, we have the end of tier 1. If you're familiar with cryptozoology to any degree, then you've probably already heard everything I talked about today. But this serves as an excellent introduction to the series. We talked about a lot of the common ones, what their cultural impact is, and you all have a feel for how the rest of the series will go. So I am going to get started on editing this and then immediately get into research for the second video, which will hopefully be up.
Okay, well then, that was something. Yeah, that was interesting. There's a lot of them that I didn't know about. Something is definitely a word, yeah. I mean, like the Jersey Devil, Skunk Ape, Dogman, and Champy, I didn't know anything about. So it was pretty interesting to learn about some of the new ones. But yeah, if you would like to see me react to the rest of them, please leave a like on this video and comment down below if you want to see more. But with that, if you like this video too, please leave a like and comment down below. And also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It really helps the channel out a lot. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!